to Theater Crafts, where we take theater memorabilia and we make brand new treasures. So today I'm at the front door because we are going to make a door hanging inspired by Broadway musicals. If you notice, it's in the shape of a pumpkin, and all of the Broadway musicals are Halloween inspired. So today we're going to make a door hanging. All right, let's get crafting. Okay, so here we are at the workbench. So we're going to start off. I have this form. I got this at the dollar store. It is just kind of a pumpkin form, which I thought would be really fun to put a musical theater kind of twist on it for Halloween. I've got just some black paint, just regular acrylic paint, what I had in my stash. And I've got a couple of pliers and things here because I'm going to try to take off. I don't want this bow on here. Oh, that was easy to take off. And this leaf, I'm not going to want this either. So I wasn't sure. Oh, there it goes. Pretty easy to take off. And don't worry about this. We're going to paint right over it. And I'm going to actually add my own kind of embellishment at the top. So I didn't need these at all. There you go. So I've covered my surface here just to protect it because I'm going to paint. And I didn't want paint all over my workbench. So I'm just taking black craft paint. I'm going to paint the back first just because I'm the kind of person I like to have it all completely finished off. So I'm going to paint the back black and let that dry, and then we'll move on to the front. And then we'll see, we're going to do this together. We'll see how we embellish this to make it musical theater themed. So just really taking, there's so many musical theater shows. I found some images from different programs and brochures and things that I have that are musical theater related. Obviously there's Wicked, there's Phantom of the Opera, even Harry Potter. I don't have any, there's Little Shop. I don't have any images from Addams Family. I kind of wish I did. That would have been really fun to include. Notice here I'm doing the edges too. That would have been really fun to include on this, but I don't have any images. And I wanted to try to use images from programs and things that I had already, rather than like going on and printing something out necessarily. Oh, Beetlejuice is another one. I've got a program from Beetlejuice. So I'm going to use that. Okay, so I've got the back, just a coat of the black on the back, and I'm going to let that dry, and we'll come back and we'll paint the front. All right, the back is dry, and now I'm going to paint the front exactly the same way as I did the back, just to get a base coat. We're going to cover most of this anyway, but if anything is peeking through with our images, I wanted to be able to have kind of a base coat. And you're probably thinking, but pumpkins are not black. But the shows that we're going to use are Halloween appropriate musicals. So I thought it would be kind of fun to just have a black background. We'll add some other color to it later. So no need to worry about that. And the images have lots of color on them too. So that will be really kind of fun and add to the whimsy of this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll move on to the next part. All right, so the front is dry, and you can see I've started to put together some ideas of what I might want to include. So the images and where I got them, I had programs, some brochures. I actually even used, like, for example, CD covers, old CDs, because I don't use CDs anymore. So I stream my music. So this would be a great image to include. I do have a Little Shop image here, so that's something that I could certainly use in place of that. So some of the images that I found in my own stash, obviously Wicked, Harry Potter, King Kong, Little Shop, Sweeney Todd, Wicked, Oh, damn, if I already say that. I don't, I don't have, I have Beetlejuice here, and I don't have like a really good picture, but I had at least the title, so I thought that would be okay to include. I don't have like Adam's Family, unfortunately, or some of the others. So I had to go with what I have in my stash. And what I did is I cut out the images to try to make them work, because obviously the shape here is rather rounded along the edges. So I've had to cut some of the shapes to work. So now what I'm going to do is, I may move these about a little bit, and I have some things that I may add on there as well, just to embellish once I get the images down. But I'm going to use Mod Podge and put the images on with Mod Podge. So I am going to kind of layer those, and I'll fast forward through this so you don't have to sit and watch me Mod Podge the whole thing down. Okay, so I have it basically laid out here. It's kind of cute. All different types of characters in musical theater that are, thought of as either magical or evil or misunderstood. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a coat of Mod Podge across the whole thing, and just to protect it. And then I'm going to embellish after that. So literally just a kind of light coat of Mod Podge just to kind of seal the whole thing. And we'll put some other embellishments on it after. There's a little bit of buckling. I don't know if you can see that on the Wicked. If it's too much, I can always do like a pinhole and try to get that to lay a little bit flatter. It's generally not bad. I love being able to use musical theater inspiration in decorating. I have lots of like holiday ornaments that are musical theater or Broadway related, which I love. And then why not use Halloween? I really wish, like I said, I had Adam's Family. Would be a great one to include on this. I just don't have it. I really just used images that I had in programs that I had in my stash, or like I said, CDs that I had in my stash, and I have not included Addams Family in my CDs. I stream it, so that's why I don't have it. Let's make sure I got all of these pieces covered. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to let it dry for maybe a half an hour or so, and I will come back and we will continue embellishing. Okay, so it is mostly dry. There are a couple spots that still have a little bit of moisture there, but I'm going to move on to the next part. And I decided I'm going to put some color along the edge. And I have these paint pens. They're acrylic paint pens, and so basically I use these for, you know, painting rocks and things like that. They got great color to them. So I thought maybe I would do the edge in green, like this orange. I thought maybe the orange, but it's kind of bright for this, so I'm going to do green. I also am going to do a glaze afterwards that I think I'm going to do in green anyway, and that will tie it together. So I pulled out the green. I pulled out the brown too, because I thought maybe I would add some to the stem at the top, some green and brown. So the way these paint pens work is, if you can see that, this one has not been primed yet. So basically what you do is you take it and you're going to push it down on a, in my case here, paper plate, until you see the paint go into the tip of the pen. And then for this one, I'm just going to add a little bit of color along the edge. Sorry, it's a little hard for you to see that, isn't it? A little tricky for you to see that. It's hard for me to get it up here. Okay, so you see here, I'm just going to run the pen along the edge here, and just to kind of like finish it off a little bit. So I will forward this through so you don't have to watch me. I missed a little bit of the black there, so you don't have to watch me do this. But basically I'm just going to go all the way around with the paint pen so that I can kind of add some details to the back there. Okay, so I stopped the camera because it was hard for me to get in the shot because of the angle here. But I did do green all around the edges here, and I put brown around the top of the stem. So you can see that on the top of the stem, just for just give it a little bit of a different look on the stem. I'm going to also take the brown and just going to just add some lines here just for just visual interest. Okay, so let me see if I can add maybe a little bit of black on there too, just for some texture here. I'm going to add some green elements to it in a moment as well. Let me hit the... Okay. There we go. All right, so now I've decided I'm going to put a little bit of this dragonfly glaze on it. I think that would be visually quite interesting, and so I'm going to paint that onto the entire form here, just so that we can kind of combine those and kind of make it look all as one cohesive look. So I've put a little bit on my plate here, and I'm going to just take it and I'm going to spread it out throughout the whole thing. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I am just spreading a little bit of this paint. It's got a little bit of a green cast to it, and it's got a little sparkle, so I thought it would look kind of magical. So it's this dragonfly glaze, and it's green. They have different colors in their collection, but this one has a little bit of green, so I thought it would kind of combine the look of all these different images and give them a little bit more of a kind of a cohesive look. So I'm just going to just do a light coat over the top of this, and I don't know if you can see when it dries. Hopefully it'll be much clearer, but man, it's so sparkly. It's got that like iridescent kind of look to it, which I think has not only a magical quality, but it feels like for Halloween that would be really, it's really kind of cool. This will also protect it again too, which is really important, especially if you're doing it on an exterior door. You want to be able to protect it. All right, I'm just checking to make sure I got all of the different areas of the sign. Okay. Fantastic. So I'm going to let that dry. The top stem right there is still a little wet. I am going to give a coat of that. Actually, I'll try right now and see. I don't want to. Let me go. Because I just painted that. I want to make sure it's not going to run. But again, that gives it, yeah, it is a little bit. But it gives it a little bit of a, like less, you know, the harshness of the marker lines aren't as obvious here. You can see it kind of blends it together. But boy, is that sparkly. I like it. All right, so I'm going to let that dry. It's going to take a little while to dry, and I will come back after it's dry. Okay, so the front here is dry, and then I actually, since it was the same process, I did the same iridescent paint on the back, just to make it a little bit more cohesive. And look at that shine, isn't that cool? I also put it on the sides too, just to tie it all together. So now we're in the final stretch here, and it's about embellishing. So I thought it would be really fun. I have a ridiculously large, I'm not quite sure why I have so many googly eyes, but I am a big fan of the googly eyes. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to put just googly eyes in different places on the you know, where the like blank spots are. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a dab of hot glue and then put googly eyes in random spots. And I've got different sizes here. So I thought that would be really, really fun to just kind of add a little bit of whimsy to it. It's almost like, you know, they're watching you kind of thing. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just putting them where I feel like there are blank spaces that could use a little decoration. Now, the beauty is that, as you remember, we painted it black, so it does feel like it all kind of goes together. But I thought it'd be fun to add some eyes. Let's see. Add a couple little ones just for fun. Small one up here. Oh, it's over here to balance out. I could do actually two eyes in, like make it look like, you know, something staring out. I'm not thinking it through that much. One here. I'm also trying to balance it out a little bit here with eyes, with the eyes. And another small one. Let's see. Put it over here. And you can put as many as little as you want, or you don't have to do any. It's all up to you and what you're going for. I just think that's fun. and the eyes looking at you. All right, so I have a ribbon here. You can put any sort of tie that you want. For this particular blank, it actually had a hole in it, so that works out nicely. I'm just going to put my ribbon through there, and I'm going to tie that off. I'm going to leave it long, only because I think I'm going to hang this on my front door, and that way it will hang. I can adjust it on my front door, and I'm just going to create a big knot there. So I can adjust that and let that hang where it needs to hang on the front door. And I have this, I thought this bow would be really kind of fun to just kind of, I don't know, finish it off at the top here with the stem area. And this bow, I think I got it like the dollar store. But you could certainly put any sort of embellishment at the top, or you don't have to put it. That works too. But I happen to have that in my craft bin. And there it is. How cute is that? I love it. I think it's really fun. It's a musical theater, but a front door decoration for the season. And it has all of those different shows that are, spooky or Halloween related. And I love that. So I hope you could do this with not only a flat thing like this, you could do those three-dimensional pumpkins if you wanted. You could cut your pumpkin out of cardboard and do it that way. Just make sure you seal it really well so that the cardboard doesn't get damaged, especially if you put it outside. But boy, how cute is that? Just to add some musical theater whimsy to your Halloween decorating. So thank you so much for joining me for this version of Theater Crafts. I will see you next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.